I think it's time. We have big changes coming very, very soon. Big changes. In form of patch 25.4, aka 25 or season 1.4, because that's what they're calling it most of the time. Anyway, let's read not everything. We only care about what changed for us ADC players, in particular Jinx players, which is tags getting nerfed and Infinity Edge getting changed. Is it buffed? We'll see. Right, so mentioned yesterday, we are trying to make ADCs feel better through the Infinity Edge changes and hit some of the outliners on tank items. Right? We look at the Infinity Edge changes. You can see right here. The price goes down by 150 from 3600 to 3450. But the attack damage goes down as well from 70 to 65. When you think about this change, a longsword costs 350, which is 10 attack damage, right? If you check here, that's longsword, okay? We all know that. It's common knowledge, right? Okay. If you divide this by 2, 5 attack damage costs 175. So here for Infinity Edge, you lose 25 gold for full value. A lot of people might look at this and say it's a nerf. But in reality, this is actually a buff. Because how often do you even get full build on ADC? I'll just check this OPG, whatever. And let's see, how often am I full build on my games? The items, 2.5, 2.5. 4 items, 2.5. 1 game full build. You see the point? It's like not even full build, not full. You don't get full build, okay? So cheaper items, even though they're weaker, is better because you get your 100% crit chance sooner and your crit damage faster. So this is amazing, right? Let's go. Very, very good. Okay, what else do they say? Primary Infinity Edge crit carry builder, especially in higher levels of play, have not been particularly strong in the meta compared to Kalista, Varus, Ezreal. But you dodgy Jinx. This is very interesting, by the way. Look at Jinx's win rate. Emerald Plus, 51.58% win rate. Ooh. So my concern is that maybe, Jinx, I feel like should be strong. She should have like 51.5% win rate for the average players. Very nice. But very high loss. You shouldn't have very high win rate because she's easy to punish, easy to dive, and so on in mobile. If you look here, Diamond Plus. Ooh, win rate goes down. Diamond 2. Ooh, win rate goes down. Master Plus. Ooh, win rate goes down. I'm right. Okay? So there's Jinx. Jinx is never really a big problem in very high elo. Right? And for the average player, I feel like Jinx should be decent to play, should be quite strong. So I think right now Jinx is actually very balanced, which is great to see. Alright, so here, I think they're talking about other champions. Jinx, she has high range. That's why she's so good right now. Her high range makes it so you can escape and deal with all the bullshit that's thrown at you, right? That's the cool part. Now, this Infinity Edge change is intended to be a light buff to those archetypes who are typically more popular solo queue, without sending them overboard in optimized high skill play in particular. Okay, so that's exactly what he's talking about. Okay, good. Tank items, I feel like they have a pretty good mechanic good systemic foundation baseline to build on currently, so hopefully you can leave them here for a while. Yeah, I feel like tanks, even though they're a bit strong, and that's why if you look here, these tank items here are getting nerfed. They're not that bad. I feel like people exaggerate when it comes to tanks. They are not that strong in my opinion. They're fine, right? I say that, and if you look at my YouTube channel, most recent video, right, it's legit about tanks are getting nerfed, here's why, and they're OP, and I struggle with the big HP Mundo. Anyway, they're not that strong, right? But a small nerf, I think, is needed. And after this nerf and the Infinity Edge change, I feel like the game is going to be more balanced than ever when it comes to ADCs and tanks. I feel like it's going to be very, very good. Right? That's my prediction at least. And they talk about Attack Carmel, whatever, Ashe, cool, I don't care. Whatever, we care about Jinx. Now, let's talk about what matters to us. Which is the Jinx build changing? What's the best Jinx build at the moment? Right? If you look at USG, for example, they just recommended Yuntal Infinity Runan for some reason, and then LDR 4th. Let me explain why I think this is wrong. or at least why it was wrong, and why right now it might be true sometimes, right? So when it comes to Jinx's first item, I tested many things. We're going to look at DPS in a minute as well. Yuntal is just by far the best. It's got the most stats. It's insane. Wow. Yeah, it takes time to scale, but whatever. Another problem, the build path is horrible. But to combat the build path, I talked about this in my first recall shopping guide, which you can see here in this video. Talked about this here as well. And basically, if you can recall with 1300 gold, you buy BF Sword, perfect, you move on, you're happy. You can't recall with 1300, let's say you recall with 800 gold. You buy a longsword, that's here, and then you buy the curl. Okay? You buy curl. Why curl? Because it gives you like 17 attack damage combined with longsword, and now you can farm under turret, no problem. Which is very cool. Okay? And then you buy your Yuntal, and it's like you bought curl, so your Yuntal is delayed. Guess what? It doesn't matter. Yuntal takes time to scale anyway. On Jinx, you're not going to be very strong on one item compared to going Collector or on Aphelios or something, right? That's how Jinx works. But instead, because you bought curl and everything, on 2 items, Jinx is going to be very powerful, right? Yuntal, Lord Dominic's against tanks, or Yuntal Infinity Edge against squishes is going to be the way to go, in my opinion. We are going to do damage testing in just a bit. Especially now, because Infinity Edge price is closer and closer to Lord Dominic's price. They're just one longsword away. Which is very cool. Right? This is very, very cool. I'm really happy to see this change. I think it's going to be big. And we're going to do damage testing in game. And now, another question that's very popular. People really love to ask me this. Tony, how about you buying Runan or, Phantom Dancer earlier, right? Why don't you do that? Well, if you go Runan and Phantom Dancer earlier, you're going to lose damage, because just think about it. Yuntal gives you so much attack speed. Insane amounts of attack speed. And after you have so much attack speed, how do you increase your DPS? You buy attack damage. Right? What do you want? You want 25 crit, which this gives and this gives, and 40 attack speed or 60 attack speed from Phantom Dancer if you want. Or would you rather take 35 AD and 40% armor pen? Or 40% crit damage and 65 attack damage, right? Yeah, they're more expensive, but Zeal item is just not the way to go if you go Yuntal. Unfortunately, I'm sad. Runan is 4th. I press screenshot on my keyboard. Oh, okay. Yeah, like, this is the build against tanks, this is the build against squishes. I'm gonna tell you why, and we're gonna do some damage testing. And then last item, of course, you just choose one upgrade boots. So let's go into a game here and test some damage. Don't try practice too. I just want to say thank you to all my channel members. If you're interested, here are all the benefits you get if you join at Pow tier. And if you want to support me even more, you could choose Fishbones or Rhino tiers for additional benefits. Thank you so much. Let's see. I want to do damage testing, but I don't want... I guess I could use Gathering Storm Absolute Focus. Is that big of a deal? Fine. I'll just use my standard runes. These are, by the way, my runes. These are the best. Like, Little Tempo is the highest DPS, especially if you don't buy attack speed second Zeal item, right? You just buy Yuntal and then 2 attack damage items, Infinity LDR. Little Tempo is amazing, the attack speed is amazing. Alacrity is amazing, more attack speed, so you get more DPS. Of course, you need a Prince of Mind mana, right? Hadal is more damage, coup de grace, trust. And then I really like Absolute Focus Gathering Storm right now because more attack damage is nice. Again, you have attack speed, you want attack damage. It's like you have so much AD, so much attack speed later in the game. It's insane how strong Jinx can be with this. And here, of course, we got attack speed, force, and health. Flat health. Never go scaling. You need help early game. Alright. Let's fast forward like 10 minutes for Gathering Storm first stack. When do you usually get 2 items? Is it minute 20? Hard to say, right? On. Let's do minute 10. Okay. So let's be level 11. We're gonna test 2 damage, 2 items, sorry. Alright. So, I'm going to buy Doran Blade, Curl. Most of my games I find myself buying Curl, so I'm gonna include Curl in the damage testing. We have Yuntal, and we go, let's say, Infinity Edge. Now, target dummies. We are gonna make the first target dummy here. Is 70 armor and 70 magic resist. Why 70? Because look, I'm level 11, I have 67 armor. It's like insane, right? Everybody has so much armor. And the second one, I don't know, we just make a tank that has 200 armor or something. Now, Let's test Infinity Edge damage. Yuntal Infinity. With minigun on a 70 armor target. Right? Let's test this. Let's do minigun testing. Let's make sure Yuntal works. Little tempo. Damage is like 600 something. Around there. Okay. Now let's do some rockets. Let's do some rockets. Actually, I shouldn't do rockets. Wait. Should do minigun. Should do minigun first. Excuse me. Let's do minigun here. Alright. This is the minigun damage. 330, 40-ish. This was like 600-ish. Now, let's sell Infinity Edge. And let's buy Lord Dominic's. But now, Lord Dominic's is exactly 350 gold cheaper than Infinity Edge. So here, theoretically, I could buy a longsword. Right? To have the exact gold. But in a real game, you're gonna have this gold left over. So I'm not gonna do it. Right? Let's just be as close to the normal game as possible. Okay. Now, this was 600 minigun before. Let's see now. Okay. We have 500 something. 520, 30. So you can see it's lower against a squishy target that buys 0 armor. Right? It's very good to see. Now let's test this on the 20 armor target. Let's see here. This was like 300 something, I think. No, 200 something was it. So, yeah, LDR here. It's very good against tanks, you see? This is better than it was before. Don't remember exact number. Was it 230? Was it 330? It's still better. LDR is still better. Instantly. Right? We could do rocket testing as well, but we didn't need to. It was 340. Thank you. But you see, it's still better against the fully armored target. Slightly. And again, it's cheaper. You get it 350 gold sooner. So what does this mean? Right? Because now I have to wager. Right? Before, I was really eager to go LDR second most of my games, even against squishes. Because Infinity Edge was so expensive. And because after you buy Yuntal, let's say you buy Yuntal, you buy your tier 2 boots, you have 500 gold left over. You buy Infinity second, you can't buy anything. But if you buy LDR, it's like you buy Longsword. Right? And LDR you finish faster. Buying LDR is better than Infinity Edge components. Right? So, you see how here we have a problem. This is very close. So, if you want the easy answer, I think right now, because of the Infinity Edge changes, and especially because we are testing 2 items right now. 2 items. Imagine you buy Infinity Edge second, and then you buy a Crit Cloak. Suddenly it's like Infinity Edge deals way more damage than LDR. Right? Again, a bit more expensive, I know. But I think defaulting to Infinity second now is what I'm going to do. I think it's going to be great. Right? Is it that important? No, because like the 3 items you still buy all these items. You still buy both. It's not like if you don't buy the perfect item each game, you have a big problem. No. We're talking about optimizing everything here, right? That was the most optimized way to build on Jinx. And I feel like after next patch, Infinity second will be the go-to most games. Now, if enemies have Ramos in the jungle and Cassandra top lane, and Leona support, will I go Lord Dominic second item? Maybe. Maybe it's worth it, right? So, yeah, if you don't care, buy 50 second. You wanna turbo optimize against Giga tanks, you could buy LDR second, and it's fine. I think this is the conclusion here, right? But Infinity Edge change here is amazing. I think it's a step in the right direction. I feel like it makes Crit ADC nicer to play, right? I really wish they made Infinity even cheaper, remove 10% crit damage, and give 10% crit damage to like Runan and Zeal items. That would be so cool. But I doubt Riot is gonna do it. I wish they could make Runan and Phantom Dancer like 3000 and give them like 10% crit damage. That would be so cool. And make Infinity 3000 as well, remove some crit damage. Imagine if you had that. Every ADC item is 3000. That would be so cool. But right now, this is what we have, we adapt. Right? So I think Infinity second is going to be the play into LDR, and then Zeal item, and then something from here. That's my conclusion. Do you guys agree? What do you think? Does this make sense? Damage numbers don't lie, after all. Damage numbers don't lie. And because it's so close in cost as well, right? Because it's so close in cost, it's only a longsword away, right? I think it's worth going Infinity second now. For sure. Even in a live patch, you can go Infinity second, no problem. Infinity first over Yuntal. No, not first. Second, sorry. I'm talking about Infinity before LDR or LDR before Infinity, right? But again, at 3 items, LG doesn't matter because you have this anyway. And it's like if you buy Infinity as second against tanks, cool. Now you can buy Last Whisper if they have tanks. And it's like even though you don't have 3 items, you're still gonna deal some damage to tanks with armor pen, right? So it's fine, right? The biggest problem was the cost of Infinity Edge. Making it cheaper makes me more eager to buy it, more happy to buy it, right? So this is the build we're gonna go for. Was asking Infinity first was any good, or is Yuntal much better first? Yeah, Infinity first is not that great, because the crit damage only works on crit. And early on you don't really have crit, right? And Yuntal is so good right now, so cost effective, that it's definitely better to go with Yuntal. Even though again it spikes, it takes a little bit longer for it to stack and become great. But on Jinx, if you go with Yuntal, right, yeah, you're not gonna be that strong one item. Compared to you go Collector, you're going to be stronger one item. But that's not why you play Jinx. And in every game, basically, you reach 2 items, 3 items, right? 2 items, 2.5 items most of the time. So most of my games, I'm going to be like Yuntal, Infinity, and maybe Cloak. And it's going to be my build with 65% crit rate most of the time. Right, if game is longer, cool, we're going to like this territory. And if the game is shorter, we might still be able to afford Infinity, no problem, hopefully. Especially if we go Cull, we get 2 items faster with Cull. Right, Cull makes it so you get 2 items faster and first item a bit slower. All good. Right? Depends on the game build path for LDR is so much better. No? Yes. Exactly, right? As you buy Yuntal, you have 500 gold left over. You buy a longsword. Yes, let's go. Or 700 gold, you buy 2 longswords. Compared to Infinity Edge, you have 700 gold. I'm not excited for Cloak. If I have 700 gold right now, I'm not gonna buy Cloak. I'm gonna save for picking sword this. Like BF sword. Right? I'm not gonna buy Cloak when Yuntal I just bought. He has no crit anyway. Right? You're behind in gold, getting LDR is good later too. To default to LDR. Okay, yeah, so this is another factor that I never really took into consideration. Game state. Are you ahead? Are you behind? Because if you're ahead, you have Yuntal, you have left go over gold, whatever, you're still ahead and more ahead than the enemy. You still have at least equal items to him, even you have 700 gold left over. But when you're behind, you just bought your Yuntal and have 700 gold. You need to buy a 2 longsword, man. Those fights are gonna be so close, so it's probably worth it. Right? And also if you're behind, the lower level enemies are gonna get higher levels, they have more armor, it becomes a bit better, right? So that's also something to consider. But most people don't optimize that much. So I feel like Infinity second default into LDR, Runar is the way to go. That's it. If you don't like Runar because they don't have front line and they're not stacked, go Phantom. It's all good. It's rapid fire if it helps you. It's no problem, right? And another question against squishes. Enemies don't have any armor, 0 armor, not even armor boots. Do you still bother with LDR third? Or do you go Runan third? LDR is still more damage, I think. Let's see, right? 70 armor, target, Abby. 70 armor. Yuntal, Infinity, Runan. With this minigun. 700 something something. 50, whatever. We go Lord of Blix, a bit more expensive. Which is fair. Okay. It was 700 something something. Now we have 900. Oh my god! It's like, oh what? It's like 25% decrease, right? It's like, yeah, it's a bit more expensive, but again, squishy, 70 armor. I have 70 armor, level 11 or 6, 7, whatever. Okay, So you see how only problem is like Infinity second versus LDR second. And then you buy the other one. Fourth item, you don't even question. Fourth item, you replace it with Phantom, sorry, single target, still less damage than LDR. Right? It's very important to know as well about Jinx items. And then, by the way, if you're interested about last item, just default to Bloodthirster. When in doubt, go Bloodthirster is good. Sure, if they have 5 mages or 5 assassins, might GA. Actually, they have mages, go more, sorry. If they have 5 assassins, go GA. Or 3 assassins, Evelyn, Twitch, whatever, right? You can go GA. But default Bloodthirster works best. 90% of the games go Bloodthirster. Don't doubt it, right? Full build, most games, if you want to be lazy. And then Infinity second, if you want to be lazy. And most games, Infinity second, I feel like even for me, even if you try to hyper optimize everything you're doing, I still think LDR third and Infinity second is gonna be what I'm gonna go for like 90% of my games, especially because tanks get nerfed. Tanks will get placed less often because of it as well, right? So cool. Now, guys, do you want me to test these changes on live server? Let's go! It's 1 week until next patch. Let's go Infinity second and get used to it, shall we? Why not? Why the hell not? Let's get used to it. It's gonna take a while to buy it, but yeah, whatever. Alright then. Why did you change about Infinity Edge? For now, you still go LDR second. LDR second right now is good. Infinity second right now is good. Next patch, Infinity second is better because of the price. But even right now, Infinity second is not bad, it's good. What I changed to Infinity Edge? Price goes down by 150 and damage goes down by 5. To make it more affordable, you buy it sooner. And second item, it becomes better. That's the change, right? Second item is going to be very nice. I'm going to be more eager to buy it second for sure. Okay, but now I always do this. Maybe it's wrong, but whenever there's a new patch, item changes and stuff, I'm always going to try the items on live server like 1 week ahead of time. Just so I can get used to it. And then when the patch drops and they get buffed, it's like, yes! Feels amazing, right? I usually do this, because why not? Let's go live server, guys. Let's go.